As a maker, I like options that are both free and open source, yet this is not what I use for my CAD software. So today we check out Ondsel, an improved version of FreeCAD, to see how it compares to popular proprietary options. Every time I make a CAD tutorial, I get comments asking why I don't use FreeCAD, considering it's free and open source. The truth is that when I tried it in the past, it just wasn't there yet. But when my patron Derek posted about Ondsel, I thought it was time to give this new evolution of FreeCAD a try. I'm sure many of you have heard of the software FreeCAD, named so because it's free and open source. I first tried it a long time ago before it was really finished. These days it's got plenty of fans, but rightly or wrongly, it has a reputation for a frustrating interface and workflow. And that brings us to Ondsel, a relatively new player. Coming to the About page explains that it's built around FreeCAD. And if you'd like to learn more about Ondsel, the company structure and even the meaning of the name, there's plenty of information available on their website. Here's the most important things you need to know. We have a free version that's meant to be fully featured, and then peer and enterprise subscription plans that add more cloud capacity, as well as features aimed at larger groups and commercial operations. Ondsel is available for Linux, Mac and Windows, and the source code is available on GitHub because Ondsel is meant to be an improved version of FreeCAD, implementing fixes and features commonly requested by the community. Downloading Ondsel will give you a zip file, and we need to extract the contents to a folder. There's no obvious file to get going, but we need to come inside bin, scroll down, and then double click on freecad.exe. This will give us a small first run wizard. We can then click OK, and we're ready to start using the program. We're going to start by modeling this reference object. It's a simplified version of a tool holder based on the object in lesson 1 of my Onshape series. In Onshape, we can achieve this by doing a simple rectangle, dimensioning its height and width, drawing some construction lines through the center point, using constraints to get the inner and outer ones equal, drawing the 3 circular holes, and adding one more dimension as our final constraint. We use a simple extrude to add thickness, start a second sketch on the side face, extruding this out 10 mm, and then finally selecting the fillet tool, clicking the top edges and inputting a value. Job done in 1 to 2 minutes. So how does Ondsel compare? In Ondsel, I have a pretty straightforward splash screen, and I click on standard part, which loads a workspace with some pretty familiar icons. Very helpfully, I have a prompt to start a sketch, but for some reason it's difficult to click on the XY plane to begin drawing. I instead select it from the list, and eventually work out that I have to double click it, but only on the perimeter for the sketch to begin. Drawing the base geometry was pretty straightforward. The toolbar had icons that were pretty obvious for a new user, and I guessed that D was a keyboard shortcut for dimension, which let me instantly dimension the rectangle I had just drawn. Now for those construction lines across the center of the rectangle. My first mishap occurred when I realized I couldn't snap to the center point of the previous line. So instead I tried to add a constraint, but it appears that a midpoint constraint is just not a thing in Ondsel or FreeCAD. I used the circle sketch tool to add what would become the 3 holes and dimension these accordingly. As I started to redraw the central construction lines to match what I had done in Onshape, I started to get some errors along the bottom which were quite confusing. I tried to ignore the errors and keep finding a way to lock to the midpoint. To get around this, I just manually dimensioned the gap between the two. Upon closing the sketch, I found the pad tool, which seemed to be an equivalent of extrude, and as soon as I clicked it, I got a nice preview of what I was doing. I could easily edit the thickness of the extrusion and then click OK to finish it. So let's quickly finish the shape by adding another sketch on the side face. Obviously I'm doing something wrong here, but I'm finding this part really counterintuitive. I can't double click on the face, I can't click on the face and then click OK. Eventually I worked out I had to select the face first and then come up and click sketch. I drew the side rectangle and then dimensioned it, but it didn't really want to snap to the existing geometry, so instead I had to use constraints to lock the two together. The other side of the rectangle, however, refused to accept any constraints, so instead I just dimensioned it to match the width of the initial shape. Extruding this new sketch I again found counterintuitive, as there seemed to be no way to click on it and then click extrude. I procrastinated by adding the fillets to the top corners. That seemed to work really well, and then I worked out I had to click on the sketch, followed by pad to extrude that section. Finishing this pad completed the reference shape. As a point of comparison, I also created the exact same shape in FreeCAD, and it was clear to me instantly how much an improvement Ondsel was. I've used a lot of CAD programs over the years, but there were elements of FreeCAD that just didn't make sense because they were nothing like all of the others. Things like constantly switching between the workbenches and having multiple dimension tools instead of just one. I also experienced my fair share of frustrating and cryptic error messages. Just out of interest, I decided to recreate the same geometry using Fusion 360, and I find the layout just different enough to Onshape that I've avoided using it from frustration. Despite this, the only thing I needed to look up was how to toggle between a normal and a construction line in a sketch. I found everything else logical and intuitive, and it's easy to see why this option is so popular. Despite this being the first model I had created in Fusion, I could easily get it done. Ondsel wasn't too bad, but FreeCAD was so much more frustrating than I was expecting, and this really got me thinking about my testing approach. When you switch programs to one you're not used to, be it a word processor, slicer, or in this case CAD software, there's going to be temporary inconveniences. You know what you want to do, but it's frustrating because the tools have different names, you can't find the buttons, the camera controls might be different, and you don't know the keyboard shortcuts. Onshape is my main CAD program, so there's zero barriers here. I know exactly how to achieve what I want 99% of the time. So I have to keep that in mind when testing other software and work out if my frustration is coming from the actual program or just me being unfamiliar with it. That's why I've also used Fusion 360, something unfamiliar, in all of my test objects. With this key distinction made, I decided to focus on whether I could find actual limitations in the open source options. And the first of these we've actually already seen, and that's that there's no midpoint constraints or snapping. Parametric CAD is great because you can go back and edit sketches and features and have the final shape update. So if I lower the height of this from 30 to 20, you can see that all of my circles remain in the middle. That's because they weren't dimensioned, instead they were set to the midpoint. In Ondsel and FreeCAD, you can see as soon as I narrow the rectangle, the circles are no longer in the middle and I need to edit a second dimension to correct this. In my opinion, it's better to have lots of constraints and only a few key dimensions. And we're about to see another example of this. When I shorten the rectangle by 20mm and then close the sketch, we can see that the follow-up geometry is also out of whack. And that's because it wouldn't let me set a coincident constraint, so again I had to dimension manually. And the more manual dimensions you have, the more of them you need to change if you're updating the geometry. This next one, in my opinion, is a lot more significant, and that's that you can only have one shape or feature per sketch. Here's a simple shape, and I can create it efficiently in Onshape, Fusion 360, and every other proprietary CAD program I've used. And I can do so from one simple sketch. I select both segments and extrude them down, and then from the same sketch, a second extrusion only using the right half, and finish by adding the fillet. In my opinion, very easy. In Ondsel and FreeCAD, we can generate the exact same sketch, but once we finish it, the various segments aren't detected by the mouse cursor, whereas most other CAD programs will detect the various segments of the sketch and treat them independently. If I highlight the sketch and then come to pad, I instantly get some very cryptic errors. I would suggest wire is not closed 2 times is not very useful here. The way to solve this is to come inside the sketch and set this center line to a construction line, meaning there's only one region between the 2 circles without any segmentation. Now when we close this, the extrude happens as we would expect, but that's only half the job done, and our original sketch is now tied to the pad. So we have a few options, but I'm not a fan of them. One option is to draw the exact same sketch on the exact same surface. But this is made harder because the constraints only interact with what's in the current sketch instead of the existing geometry. We could use the external geometry tool, where you can click and trace from the solid into your current sketch, except these lines are magenta, and that means you can't actually use them to extrude or apply any constraints. So I still have to redraw the geometry myself and then use constraints to snap to that magenta line. But even when I thought I had this workflow figured out, I was still getting some cryptic error messages. So in my opinion, a better option is to right click and copy the sketch, and then right click on my existing body and paste the sketch back in. I can then edit that cloned sketch, toggling the vertical line from a construction line to an actual one and trimming off the excess part of the circle. But now when I try to extrude it, I get an error message saying it's not part of the current body despite me pasting it there. So I click and drag it to be a part of the body. And finally, I'm able to extrude this into a separate 3-dimensional section. Now I can add the final fillet, albeit with some errors. This longer workflow is already frustrating, but it doesn't end there. The problem with this comes if I want to edit the size of the hole. Here I go in and increase the diameter from 30 to 32 millimeters. This somehow breaks the fillet, causing me to temporarily delete it, and we can see the other problem that I anticipated. The two sketches don't match and we have an unintended lip on the inside. So that means going back and spending more time updating the cloned sketch. Now the hole is the same diameter the whole way through, so let's reapply our fillet and more errors. I can't see any way to turn off or hide this sketch to be able to select the edge that I need to. Every attempt at selecting it and then the fillet tool gives me the same error, so I'm stuck. We also have manual management of bodies in a part file. At first, I didn't think you could even have more than one body in the same file. That's because when I tried to add a rod to the original geometry, I got an error message telling me exactly that. You can do this, but it does take extra steps. Let's show this with a simple revolved print in place object. In proprietary software, we can select both parts of the sketch and then the revolve axis, and that will automatically create two parts or bodies within the same part document without any fuss. Export them together and we're ready to print. In Ondsel, I've started the exact same sketch. I select it, click revolve, and then see that only the outer section has been formed. Creating the internal part is a two-stage process. I need to copy the sketch as with our earlier examples, and then paste that sketch back into the document. Manually click a button to create a second body. Click and drag to add that sketch to the new body. Edit the sketch to make the outer portion of the object construction lines. And then at last I can revolve the central piece, and that will give me my two separate interlocking bodies. Doing this manually for something complex sounds very stressful, particularly if I had to iterate a complex design and make changes. Another limitation is the lack of chronological timeline. Every proprietary parametric CAD program I've used has a timeline or history tree. In Onshape, it's down the left-hand side, and in Fusion 360, it's along the bottom. Let's look at a simple example of how this can be valuable, by mirroring this body to make it symmetrical and then proposing a simple edit. Let's say we want to add a little hole and we want it to appear on both halves. The inefficient way is to do two separate sketches and two separate cutting extrusions. Or, thanks to the timeline, I can roll back to a point in the document where I hadn't yet created the mirror, make the hole once, and then roll to the end to reintroduce the mirror. The mirror is recalculated, including the new hole, because it happened before it in the timeline. In FreeCAD and Ondsel, we have a tree view, but it's not strictly in chronological order, and that's because some items are nested. Let's say I want to add my holes. There's no way to roll back or suppress or anything like that, meaning creating the holes twice or deleting the mirror, creating the hole, and then generating a new mirror. And that's because FreeCAD and Ondsel are structured topologically, and with that comes specific problems. FreeCAD even has a page about this in its own wiki. We can reproduce the main error by having a stack of three shapes on top of each other. But now, if we go into the sketch for the middle one and extend it beyond the boundaries of the first, we get an error that stops our geometry from updating. There is a solution section on the wiki, but honestly, it's not for the faint of heart. Honestly, it pains me to point out the problems with something free and open source. I'm a huge advocate for open source, but in this case, it's just not that simple. A reminder that everything I design is released for free and open source on printables. My website is completely free and once again completely open source. And I think it's fair to say I played a significant role in convincing Bamboo Lab to accept community open source firmware. Yet I use and make tutorials for Onshape, which is free but definitely not open source. I think this is a choice for every individual with two things to weigh up. The first is your desire to adopt open source solutions, and trust me, mine is high. And on the other side, how important efficiency and productivity is to you. In time, I would overcome all of these, but these limitations would restrict my efficiency and productivity way too much. The difference in capabilities and ease of use between what I already use and what's available open source is simply too big for me. Not to say that Ondsel isn't a significant improvement over FreeCAD, because it is. Particularly the user interface. It's streamlined and does a much better job guiding new users compared to FreeCAD. On top of what we've already covered in this video, Ondsel has an easy to use assembly feature with relations just like all of the proprietary CAD packages. This will allow you to put parts together and then simulate motion. And by comparison, FreeCAD doesn't include a proper assembly environment by default. And a few alterations and extra features would go a lot further in making it easier to use. On top of some of the things that I've already shown, I'd love a simple measurement tool. For instance, in Onshape, you simply click two surfaces and you'll get the distance between them in the lower right hand corner. And this is contextual for pretty much whatever you click. Select it and you'll get relevant info. Also, in any tool, you can click the question mark and you'll be taken to a concise page explaining what the tool does, and with a very short example video showing it in action. Adding more tooltips would be good too. For instance, these pads and sketches all have different colored icons. I have no idea what they mean, and I have no idea how to describe them to Google it. Experienced users of FreeCAD are probably tearing their hair out and screaming at this video that I need to read the manual. But I would point out, I never had to read any manuals before starting with Onshape, Fusion 360, Autodesk Inventor, or Solidworks. I think it's a reasonable expectation that as long as you have some idea about CAD, things are intuitive and you have easy to access help for specific items. I think most of the limitations I've identified are actually FreeCAD limitations, so I would hope in time the Ondsel team can make improvements. So for me, I won't be switching to Ondsel anytime soon, but maybe the outcome is different for you. I understand Ondsel is early in its journey and I applaud the developers for their work so far. I'll happily revisit it in the future after it's had some updates, and I'm more than willing to produce a series of tutorials on this channel like I have for Onshape. Let me know where you stand with FreeCAD, Ondsel, and all of the proprietary options down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy 3D modeling for 3D printing. G'day, it's Michael again. If you like the video, then please click like. If you want to see more content like this in future, click subscribe and make sure you click on the bell to receive every notification. If you really want to support the channel and see exclusive content, become a patron. Visit my Patreon page. See you next time.